Welcome to the new ETL functionality within FlowWright version 10.6. By default, if you go to the menu, you will see now we have a new menu called ETL. And under the first option is here is the overview. And this will load up the dashboard showing you what's going on with ETL. We also have various other menu options. All the ETL definitions are maintained under definitions, and then any executed instances under instances. And then we also have a data schema. So I'm going to start off with the data schema and walk you through. The data schema really defines what type of input files you're going to bring in and what those files contain. So, for example, if I go to this sample data, and open up, you can see that I'm going to bring in a CSV, and I can also upload a file here, and it will automatically, read the data schema from that file and show you that. So here's an example of one. If I go back to, the list of schemas here, I also have this small data schema, and if I go into this, you can see all these different fields. And this is the one I'll be using in the example today in the designer. So you can see that we have brought this in and configured. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into ETL definitions. We have various different, ETL steps that we have built that you can use for various different functions. So I'm going to go to this one that says ETL filter only definition. And as you can see, the menu, you can do various, standard operations like create a new one, design, rename, copy, standard functions you see in other parts of our application also. You can render it, you can export, import, security, various utilities. So let's go ahead and open this in our designer. To be consistent, we have made the ETL design also pretty similar to our process designer, where you can actually give an input file and then perform various different operations. So in this case, as you can see, we have a CSV input file. We have various other input types also. But then from there, we are taking, performing a filter. And let me show you the data file. So in this case, if I click on this stamp, you will see the data file I'm using. So iData small CSV. And that data file looks like this. Let me kind of show you what that looks like. So that data set looks like this, where I have a region, country, item type, sales channel, order priority, order date, and various other columns here. And we're going to take this data and we're going to transform. And according to my ETL definition, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to only grab any orders that are online only. So I have created a filter expression here. I have said sales channel equals online. So even though my record set has 35,000 rows of data, it's going to only grab the online ones, which now will have only about 17,000 records of data. And then the next thing it's going to do is it's going to change the order priority, or it's going to transform order priority. And the order priority, we are saying, hey, if you find a L, change that to a low. If you find a M, change that to a medium. And if you find a H, change that to a high. As you can see, within a single step, you can configure many transforms. There could be 50 transforms right in this particular one single step. Then we're going to go ahead and in the next one, you'll see that we are going to evaluate the expression and set a value. So in this case, we are, checking if the unit cost is greater than 100. We are setting a field called cost data equals 1, else cost data equals 0. And cost data really doesn't exist in our data set. But in this case, when the ETL job runs, it will add this particular new column and set the value to these values that I have asked it to set. In the next operation here, we are, to demonstrate, we are doing changing the change control or the change order priority to uppercase. So in this case, you can see that I have order priority and I have told it to change it to uppercase. And I can have multiple operations here that it tells to perform also. And then finally, it outputs the file to one called outdata to CSV. Now, After you have designed this process, you can validate it, you can save it, and then you can actually go ahead and execute it. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and say create a new instance. So we are on instance 3 here, and I'm going to go ahead and say create and execute. And this is going to tell our ETL engine to run this particular job for us. And if I go to ETL instances, you will see that it's completed. So here's ETL instance 3, and it took about 1.2 seconds to run. And I can also double click on this and render this and show you running data for this particular ETL job. So you can see it performed all these operations. In this case, it did 3 transformations within this step and then output that data. And I can also go back and graphically show you all this um, uh, information in a data file also. So let me open up. You can see I have outdata2.csv. And if I open that file, I can see it has only taken up the online orders. And then also it has converted the order priority to uppercase. And you can also see the cost data has a value of either 0 or 1. Under instances also, we have various other operations. You can actually, render this, execute, re-execute it, export. You can look at the history, permissions, and including archival. And we also have built in the ETL log if there's any issues. You can actually go down to our log section under status, logs, and then you can actually go into ETL log, and you will see any kind of ETL errors in this particular log. So this is a quick overview of FlowWright's ETL functionality. In the new year, we will be having a lot more examples on how to build various scenarios using ETL, things like including validation, how do you validate data, and then also how do you combine ETL with processes similar to iPaaS, where you can actually have a process run ETL jobs and based on the outcome, make various kinds of decisions, send bad data for fixing, and then resend it back into the queue for processing. So we will be providing various examples of those to showcase our new ETL functionality in FlowWright version 10.6. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.